All right, we'll move on from Marvel and we'll go on to the future Marvel, which is A24.
Oh,
So they've released their latest, or their probably most known first one that I can think of right now is Talk to Me. They did that sort of type of film. Came out this year. They've announced that they're going to go mainstream. So they're looking to expand their projects. They're wanting to make more commercial films for the viewers, and they're eyeing big IP projects. I'm going to start with you, Kyle, because I know you're a big fan of A24. What are your thoughts on this, and what do you mean? What do you think they mean by big IP projects? Do you think they mean like stuff like Star Wars, or do you think like the more, I don't know, lesser sort of IP sort of stuff that doesn't get that much recognition?
They're going to stick at what they're good at, and that's within, very very kind of high level drama, very realistic drama, and also horror. They're good at those things. Well, from what I understand, they're eyeing to purchase the IP of Halloween.
They missed out on that. I read something.
oh
about
really? They didn't get it.
They didn't get it. I
didn't?
I don't remember the studio, but
Was it Miramax?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So Miramax got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Damn.
To be honest, I didn't really understand that purchase anyway, but it does fall in line with what they're saying here, where the purchasing of these IPs or the production of these IPs. I think this isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think a lot of people will hear this and they'll go, A24 is selling out. I think that it might actually be a good thing to have another big studio in competition here. You know, producing content that the other studios just aren't doing. You know, to be honest, A24 produces stuff that, Universal, Warner Brothers maybe only gets a chance to once a year, if that.
Yeah.
So this might be an opportunity for the industry to get shaked up a little. I also think that with the extra budget, their movies seemingly seem to be getting better.
Yeah.
You know, they more money into it, they seem to be getting better. But I don't know, maybe that's a very narrow way of thinking about it. But I am cautiously optimistic, but I'm not completely against it. I think I want to see what they have to offer. If they've got a really good game plan, then yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually completely on board. I thought the reaction to this was a little bit premature. It does sound bad when you hear about it, but
especially when I say going mainstream.
Oh, absolutely. But I don't think that's or using IP driven kind of stuff. I don't think that's the bad thing that we're seeing in the film industry these days. I think it's the fact that they're committing to all this, IP driven stuff, and it's all just so mediocre and bland and forgettable. If A24 can stick to their values and how they actually, the films that come out of that studio, they still take big risks. They just take it with IP now. If they, do all the stuff and lend that creative direction to their directors, then we can see IP coming from them that is actually like just very different, and it takes risks, it's bold, all that kind of stuff. Stuff that studios, they don't take much swings in terms of their IP stuff. It's always very, very safe. And I think that is the positive that I can take away from it, is like, okay, cool. If they can do IP stuff, but if it's still the A24 kind of goodness, then it's not a bad thing. As long as we're getting good stuff at the end of the day, I'm not one to really complain about it. But I guess it really depends on kind of also like what becomes an IP. Is it really worth it? You look at something like John Wick, what Lionsgate did with that series, and the first one to me is not even the best one. It's the third one, but all four are amazing. They know exactly what they want to do, and it started from just like this. It was meant to be a one-time thing. Hey, here you go, Keanu Reeves in a little action movie. And it's become this whole franchise now. And it's not just a franchise that's like, oh, the first one was great, we just milked the shit out of it. No.
Just built.
Yeah, and now we got a spin-off coming from it. So if A24 can take things like that and turn it into something really good, we're going to want to see those movies. We really wanted to see John Wick 4 because of the other ones. I think A24 have a chance to shake up the industry here, take IP, but do what the other studios are not doing. Still be risky with it, still be bold with it, and make good stuff.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you guys. I don't want them to take like a big IP, like Star Wars, Marvel, stuff like that.
Star Wars?
No. That'd be
It
crazy.
actually might be good. But like I think those more smaller, lesser known ones, like something like Halloween, where it's just been pretty average, I think it will completely suit A24 style. Same with like maybe the Alien and Predator universe.
You see,
That sort
like
of
to me,
horror-y.
the purchase for Halloween doesn't make much sense. But I was saying this to James before. It's like Halloween is so very one note in regards to what it's doing. It's just extremely, extremely classical slasher with very, very kind of singular objectives in it.
Do you mean like what else can they do with it?
Yeah, what can you do with it? I just like to me, like maybe something like Nightmare on Elm Street would be a better pick because I feel like you can just do a lot more with Freddy Krueger and
that's a good
dreams
one.
and these sorts of things with it,
Yeah.
and you can say a lot more with the characters. But I just don't really know with Halloween. It just didn't make sense to me. But
Right. What about the Alien and Predator?
it's owned by Disney, but
Yeah.
I don't think Disney would let that go.
It was just examples I could think of.
Yeah, I mean, like
forgot
if they were,
I was more talking about the stuff that you said about Nightmare Films, like that sort
Yeah.
of stuff. Like if they take those IPs, I think they could make it really good. The stuff I just said was the first things that could come to mind.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it was Alien and Predator, I mean, that would be very cool because I think you'd get a lot more sort of maybe darker, survival-y, grounded stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe even they can create their own IP, like as if Lionsgate and John Wick, they were expecting one movie and now look at it, maybe they could do the same thing.
Yeah, it's true.
If they were to do something with their most successful film, Everything Everywhere All at Once, how could that develop as an IP? They made over $100 million. Huge for them.
It did. I don't know how because I think that film was a standalone film in my eyes.
Yeah.
It'll be very
Does
hard.
it get you worried that they might do that now?
Not A24.
I mean,
If it was another studio, yeah.
I mean, Talk to Me, that's having a sequel.
That is, but that film has potential for a sequel.
From what I understand,
Because-
it's worthy of a sequel, isn't it?
Yeah, and like you can take the hand and go to different continents and get different cultures experience on that.
I mean, yeah, you can, but it feels like a sequel for a sequel. Like, it doesn't, there was no room to like, we have to tell more in this story.
Okay.
Yeah, but like, we can. It's pretty easy.
From what I understand, the creators had already written the layout for the sequel before, but by the time they had, like before they had even started filming,
I
the first one.
don't know how it can actually be a sequel. It's
I
more like
think it
a
was a spin-off or something.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
it's something that would
Actually,
just
yeah, that's
something that would just run parallel.
Yeah. That's
So
a
it's
very
same
interesting
time or-
question. Yeah, I don't know how it can.
I,
Really be
I
a
think sequel is just the term used.
Yeah,
I think A24 are probably smarter than I am in regards to what they plan on doing. Like, I honestly can't speak for them because I could speak for something like I can make commentary on something like Disney because there is a lot of situations, and I'm sure many people would agree where you go, "What the hell are you doing, Disney? Why are you doing this? Why did you do this?"
yeah.
But when it comes to A24, they seem to have such an amazing grasp on who is talented and who is not, and like the right decisions and the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
That I almost like feel apprehensive to say, "Oh, this isn't a good idea," or "This is a good idea."
Right. No, I see what you mean. I think the creators of Talk to Me, like you said, they already written it before the first one released. So I'm not gonna like argue against A24's decision to take on the sequel or anything. But like I think we can take a look at this and kind of really ask what the intent is here in terms of IP. Are you gonna develop all your successful properties? The Witch too.
Oh no,
Everything
Eggers
Everywhere
wouldn't
All
do it.
Yeah. And Eggers doesn't have to do it.
Yeah.
They can take on other directors. Like, that's my concern. Are you going to buy the rights to pre-existing stuff or are you going to create your own? And if they are going to create their own, are we going to see a change in how A24 produce films?
I think A24's primary strength is that they have a very strong relationship with their directors. I think that their success is maybe even due to that strength with their directors. They have a very like strong bond and strong level of trust, with their directors. So I think if they betray that trust, you kind of destroy your platform if you do that, because then everyone goes, well, they're just going to stab me in the back.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's very hard to interpret what this news really means and how they're going to go about it. But I mean, I think we can all say, it's not all bad. If A24 sticks to how they've done things, for the last decade or so, I think we could be in some really good IP.
Definitely.
Yeah. The problem isn't IP in our film industry and release slate these days. It's the fact that it's all just so bland and voiceless.
And I think A24 has that sort of creativity to it to make it not bland, but spicy and flavorful.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's a nice, tasty way to put it.
Making me hungry now. Trust James to make Nan hungry on a podcast, eh? Cool.